Kia ora everyone, I'm Nick, founder of Kenzie's Gift. I'd like to welcome you to the Grief Podcast, brought to you by Kenzie's Gift. We're a New Zealand charity that provides mental health support for young Kiwis who've experienced the death of a parent or sibling. We don't avoid talking about death here. It's hard, it's real, and it changes everything. This podcast is a place for honest conversations about what it's like when someone in your life dies, how grief shows up, and what comes next.
Hi, we're here today with the Kenzie's Gift Grief podcast, and I am your host, Bijoux, and we are speaking about what Christmas is like for those of us who have a loved one who has died and what Christmas is like without them. And today I'm here to speak to the lovely Hugh about his dad and what his experience at Christmas is like. So, Hugh, it's lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I would love to know a bit about your dad. What was he like?
Yeah, so my dad died when I was 3. He was 40. He died of a brain tumour. So I don't really remember him, to be honest. What I know about him is from what people have told me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird thing because you've always got this like ideal of someone next to you who you don't really know.
Yeah, of course.
But I knew that he was a very smart man. Worked in deep sea oil. Quite what he did, I don't know, but very, very, very smart man. Was shipped off to boarding school at a very young age by his parents. So very stiff upper lip type person of the British stereotype. And a very black and white man, I think, kind of his way or the highway. And so, yeah, just like very classic man of his generation, I think. But my mum told me that when he actually became terminal, he became much softer and much nicer, and she actually fell in love with him again. So I think that's where I'm his son, because I'm very in touch with my emotions and that kind of thing. And I've spoken to his friends since, and they said he was very bad at drinking. I'm awful at drinking, which is why I don't really drink. Loved wearing like really wavy shirts and that kind of thing, as I'm sure you can tell by my attire.
Yeah.
I definitely follow suit. Loved rugby and cricket, which did not come down to me at all.
That's all right.
But he must have been a good guy because my mum obviously married him for a reason. So yeah, he must have been a good guy.
Well, you seem like a really lovely person as well.
You.
So yeah, that seems like all of the good stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, have you heard any stories or have people told you about whether your dad had any specific traditions or how your dad and your mum experienced Christmas with you as a young person?
Not really. Christmas is a bit of a weird vibe in my family, and I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But he was the cook of the family, which is very much like me now. So I know that he would have been up early doing all the cooking, very much controlling that, and then probably also doing the washing up after, which is also very like me. In terms of traditions, no, we're not really a family that have Christmas traditions, but it would have just been spending time with his parents, probably, and my mum's parents. And I've got a lot of cousins on his side, so we always did like a big family meal, I guess, around Christmas, so he would have been there. But yeah, no, I don't really know much about what they got up to at Christmas. So sorry, that's a bit of a short answer.
No, that's all right. No, that's totally fine. Well, I guess then the question that I would love to ask you is, how did you experience Christmas as a child? What did Christmas feel like to you?
Christmas was always weird growing up. Like having a birthday so close to Christmas, I've always been quite anti-Christmas because it's always been like Merry Christmas or like Happy Birthday, Hugh. So I always felt like I got forgotten about a little bit. But growing up at Christmas without a dad, with a very sad mum for a few years, was not necessarily the happy time that it should have been. And I would just remember driving around a lot, like going to see family in various parts of the UK, kind of to fulfill the social obligation. But I don't remember Christmas being a fun time because my dad was also born in December. So I imagine for my mother, when I was young, it would not have been fun for her, kind of being reminded of my dad, his birthday, and then, oh, it's my birthday, and you kind of got to be happy, but also you're going to have this underlying sadness, and then going to see his parents, my grandparents, you would also have just been reminded of the loss, I think. And my mum was 36 when he passed away.
Wow.
She was still a baby in the eyes of the world, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Christmas was never a particularly happy time in the family. Not to say that we were an unhappy family, but I think that where you're supposed to be happy at Christmas, it almost feels forced. And then if you are unhappy for whatever reason, but particularly with having a bereavement, it's just been a weird time. I'm not a Christmassy person. I never have been. I'm not sure if I ever will be. Maybe until I have a kid. So Christmas was always just a bit negative for me personally. I don't know if my mum and sister would feel the same, but for me it was always a bit negative.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I really understand. And I guess following on from that, do you feel that you get to define what Christmas is for you now? Has there been a transformation in the way that you see it? Or do you prefer to sit with it as more of a holiday and just a time of summer where you can spend time with friends? Like, what does this time of the year feel like for you now that you get to have your say in what that looks
good
like?
question. When I was in the UK, it was very much like probably one of the most depressing times of the year because it's just grey and dreary and, you know, and it was very like obligatory. Like you go see your grandma, you go see the family, like you do that. And then 1st of January, you're back at work. But now I've got nieces and nephews in the UK. Christmas became more special because I kind of got to see it through their eyes, which was really nice.
Beautiful.
And seeing them run around and just go crazy, hopped up on sugar was really quite nice. And then moving here, I quite like that Christmas isn't as much of a thing. I mean, firstly, it's summer, obviously. And it doesn't feel like Christmas, which I like because I don't like Christmas. But I love here that it's summer and get to see friends and go on holiday and that kind of thing. Obviously, like a 3-week summer shutdown is incredible. I think I'll enjoy Christmas more when I have a child with my fiance because we'll get to see the magic through their eyes. But until that point, I will probably be a bit of a Grinch.
Yeah, I understand. And I empathize with you about that because I think, at least for me, sometimes there are years where you want to be in remembrance of your loved one that has died, and then other years that sometimes I kind of just prefer to get on with it and just to enjoy the Christmas period or the summer season for what it is, and as spending time with, I think, found family is a big thing as well,
100%.
Especially when you, because when you immigrate here, you make a whole new set of community and of family as well in some ways, and the friends that you meet. And I know for when you have family that are quite far away, I guess you get to build new traditions and around it. So, yeah. I would love to ask you about, I think, probably fond memories or if you can recall a moment, and maybe in your time here, where you've experienced summer and time with friends or time with your loved ones as a feeling of lightness and I guess if you can recall a moment when that changed for you and when you got to really experience that for yourself.
Yeah, well, I guess I do actually have some fond Christmas memories of my dad.
I'd love to hear about that.
Which is nice. So there's a song that you learn as a child in the UK about a Christmas pudding.
Okay.
And I remember very distinctly singing it to him and his nurse. I must have learnt it in school and then come back and be like, Dad, like I learned this song. And I sung him the Christmas pudding song, and that's always stuck with me. And he had some like Santa Claus braces, which I still have.
That's
which
amazing.
Even though I'm not Christmassy, I love dressing Christmassy, so I still wear those.
Yeah.
But probably my fondest Christmas memory was the first Christmas I was here, and I was in the South Island doing a camper van trip and was on a beach, drinking wine, eating some cheese with my at the time girlfriend. Yeah. And I was like, this is what Christmas is to me, just like being on a beach. And, you know, I hate the stuffy tradition of, you know, sit around the table, have a turkey, yada, yada, like do Christmas crackers.
Very
That's not really...
Yeah,
very formal, very draconian, I would say, very antiquated. That's not my vibe. But being on a beach, which is what I'm doing this Christmas with friends who's actually coming over from the UK as well. We'll go down to Papamoa. And like you say, that found family, I think friends mean a lot to me because you choose them, right? And so having my first ever Friendsmas, that's going to be really cool.
I'm so excited for you to experience that as well. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I know one thing for me, my best group of girlfriends from high school that I made here, we have a yearly Christmas thing that we do, which is Christmas cookie decorating, and that it's like Friendsmas is so special. So I'm so excited for you, and I look forward to maybe hearing about it as well once it's happened. That's so beautiful. And I have so many questions I'd love to ask you, but I think one that's in my mind at the moment is for those who have a loved one who have died and are maybe experiencing Christmas for the first time. Maybe not necessarily advice, but if you were to speak to someone who had that recently happen, can you imagine what kind of conversation you'd like to have with them if you could tell them?
Yeah, for sure. I think like feel your feels, right? Like I'm a very logical person and I try and logic my way through emotion, which isn't always necessarily the most healthy thing. So like talk about it, definitely. Especially if you're like a young boy or a young man, like talk about it because we're not encouraged to. Remember them, both the good times and the bad times. Hopefully you've got someone you can speak to share additional memories with you and share extra stories and just do what makes you happy. Like whether it's for me going to the beach or Christmas cookie decoration or something, you know, you've got to be sad, but you can't wallow in self-pity for too long. So, you know, try and make yourself happy if you can. But yeah, predominantly I would just say just feel your emotion, accept it, feel the loss, feel the grief, remember the happy times, and you know, it will get better eventually.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. And thank you. I know that it would have really helped me at the time when my dad had died. I'd love to ask you some rapid fire questions if that's all right with you. And I've got them right here in front of me. What is something that you do at Christmas now that you think would have made your younger self proud or that your younger self would appreciate?
Go to the beach.
Yeah.
Definitely go to the beach.
Amazing. Yeah. I'd like to say that New Zealand's beaches are pretty special.
They're the best, I think.
Yeah. What is one Christmas tradition that you would happily bin forever? I know that you spoke about the sit down dinner and the formality of that.
Yeah, probably Christmas pudding. I hate Christmas pudding. Like, I think it's evil. So get rid of the Christmas pudding.
Is that the one with raisins?
Yeah. It's like in the UK, it's just this like, I don't need like coagulant almost, like, and then you pour like drambuie on it and set it on fire. And you've always got like a pissed uncle in the corner that just ends up eating it all. And it tastes horrible. So I would say get rid of the Christmas pudding.
I will happily bin that with you, I think, from the sounds of it. Are there any kind of maybe societal Christmas traditions that you secretly love?
I love awful Christmas movies.
Oh my gosh.
Like all of the Netflix Christmas movies. I love
kind of like them. Hallmark movies.
Yeah. They're like my dirty little secret.
Amazing. Do you have a favorite? Recently?
There was a Lindsay Lohan one I watched last year where she like hit her head and lost her memory. Incredible.
On a skiing trip.
Yeah. I think there's a Jonas Brothers one coming out this year, which I'm excited for. The best Christmas film of all is called Claus on Netflix, like the animation. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, yes. I've seen it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. I've watched that. That's actually, tell a lie, that is my first Christmas tradition. I watch that with my fiance now every year, and I'm just in floods of tears every time. I love it. So that will be our tradition with our kid as and when they come along.
Well, I think that film really captures the spirit of Christmas.
It does, well. Yeah, and it's not like, I don't like the commercialization of Christmas as well. I think it's a very nice film. It's very like pure almost.
It is really pure, and it's so community focused as well. And beautiful. I 100% agree. Yeah. It's so special. And if your dad could see you at Christmas these days, what do you hope he'd notice about your life now?
That's a good question. That I'm happy, I think. Beautiful. Just being content. Yeah. That I made it, you know. I have a very colourful childhood of things that I got up to when I was younger. So good for him to know that I made it and, you know, have a good head on my shoulders, that I've got a very, very, very good woman behind me and in front of me and to the side of me. But she's an incredible person, so I think he'd be very happy with my choice of life partner. Wonderful. And just seeing that, I think our parents' generation were not allowed to do what they wanted to do. It was like, go to uni,
Yeah.
pick a job, do that for 40 years, hate your life, have kids, done.
Yeah.
I very much live the freedom that is afforded to me from my position in society, I guess. So yeah, I'm just trying to live, have fun, not be mean to anyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, just, get through life. I think we're all trying to figure it out. So
That's beautiful. Yeah, Hugh, I've really loved our chat today, and thank you for being so open and so vulnerable about your experiences as well. And I know that I can imagine for a lot of people who have had a loved one who have died, and who are experiencing Christmas for the first time, or even if it's their fifth Christmas and they're still feeling that loss, I can imagine that this would really be helpful, and it's really refreshing as well. So thank you so much for joining me today.
no, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
And I hope that you have an incredible summer, an
Yeah,
incredible
thank you.
festive season.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You
you
too.
Thank you so much for joining us for this Christmas special for Kenzie's Gift Grief podcast. And we wish everyone a wonderful festive season and Christmas. If you are experiencing any feelings of loneliness, or if you're having a hard time as someone who has had a loved one that has died this Christmas, please reach out at kenziesgift.com, and they're a team that would love to support you during this time. Once again, thank you so much for joining us for this episode, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year.